G'day, welcome to Scrounga's workshop. I'm Stuart. And today, it's make or break for this machine, literally. This is my lathe I've been using for about the last 20 years. That's how long I've owned it. It was second hand when I bought it. It's made by Hafco in Taiwan. It's been a great machine. Made back in 1989, so it's getting on a bit. But ever since I've had it, I haven't been able to get this chuck off it. And I have a 4-jaw chuck to go on it. And down in my little basin there, I've got a faceplate as well. It's a screw-on fit with a slight wedge to hold it in place. I've tried everything to undo it. You can probably see the heat marks there. That's where I got it as hot as I could. Still wouldn't come undone. Here you might be able to see a rookie mistake. Just here. I locked the back gears and tried to unscrew it that way, sheared the gears off. That is not the way to do it. I found out the hard way, so I've got a bit of repair work to do there as well. So I've come up with a new plan. Let's get on with it. So I think we all know what's going to happen if I try and put a rod like that through there and hold that. It's going to bend right there. Just going. And if I put that through there, there's a hole there and a hole there. If I try and put that in there and then I stick this through, now what it's trying to do, instead of bend this out here, it's trying to shear that and shear that, which gives me double the strength of my rod. So the piece of wire I'm using is not just a normal piece of wire. These are some kind of hooks I've picked up from a shopping display stand, and they're extremely strong. They're like a drill bit. They'll bend a little bit and then they'll just snap. So they're very high tensile. That's why I chose to use these. See how they go. Aha! Oh. Yep. Just undoing the chuck on my lathe.
Is something wrong?
No. It just finally did what I've been trying to do for years. It's all good, babe. I've just taken this video after I got the chuck loose, just to give you an idea of how much leverage I needed on the Stilsons. That pipe is 1 metre long, and I was holding it on the end, and I was still giving it plenty of heave to get that chuck to break loose. Incredibly tight. Yes! Finally. Must have been a close run thing as to what was going to snap first. even started elongating that hole, and that is a thick piece of tube. So now what I want to do is clean up the burrs around these threads from the drill. So these, obviously somebody's had a hack at these locking collars before. If you haven't seen one before, this is a thread file. You can see on here different pitches, not pictures, pitches of threads. So that's 0.75 millimeter, 1 millimeter, 1.75, 2, and so on, up to 3 millimeters, which is extremely coarse. So I get my gauge, I measure my thread 1.5, which is that one. A quick look to check, and if it is, I can put my thread file and just give that a file. Clean that up. Spin it over. And give that a good clean. Job's done. So you can see here how the thread file has cleaned up the threads. I'm not worried about those rough edges. It just means these collars will unscrew off there like I'd never made the hole. Wish I thought of that 10 years ago. Here you can see where I applied heat before and it still didn't work. Doesn't seem to be any damage though, so that's good. One last thing, some of this very old, I mean that's £1, never sees compound on here because I don't want to have to go through this again. Get a good coating of that on there. That'll do, pig. This one's much heavier than the old one. Right. Beautiful, but it's going to throw never sees everywhere, so I'll turn you off here. So finally that worked for me. Taken me a long time to get that off. I followed every video on YouTube I could find, Mr. Pete, all the good ones, to get that chuck off. None of the ideas worked, straps and ropes and all sorts of things. I couldn't get it off. That was the only way it would come off. Bad news for me, I swapped the chuck back over again, and guess what? It was really stuck. So I'll be keeping those tools close to the lathe, and when I want to change chucks, I've got all the gear to do it. It just doesn't come off easy, but at least it can't come undone when it's in reverse. Cheers, thanks for watching.